Hey, very good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Thanks for your coming. I'm seeing some familiar faces that who I've seen them in our first colloquium and February. Mr. Ozo and also Mr. Chen, my friend. Mr. Amal, Mr. Luis. Thanks for being with us in this new round of colloquium, postgraduate colloquium. And we are really delighted to have you here today and to serve you and another round of postgraduate colloquium hosted by Must Graduate School. I know some of you are coming from very long distance, and it serves to remind us that how important this work is, and we appreciate your presence here. And I believe you also enjoyed our PhD research workshop, those that attended this workshop, and you enjoyed from very impressive presentation of President Dr. Professor Graham. And just to share with you, I've written a little bit about what is the purpose of this colloquium. For those maybe we have questions in mind and why we have to gather together in sometimes and what is going on with the colloquium. The PhD colloquium is a forum in which doctoral students they meet to discuss their work with each other and a panel of experienced university researchers and practitioners. Basically, we are looking for two different parts of aim in our colloquium. First of all, as PhD students, they need to have colloquium. It's part of requirement. I heard some of you, they came to me, said that we are not prepared, we just changed our topic, and those kind of stories. First of all, we are already PhD students. I think we are in a bit higher level than other kids that they do undergraduate program. Definitely during 4 months, 5 months, we have done something. If you are shy to show whatever you've done during this period of time, I'm very worried about your final Viva presentation because I need you to be fanatic about what you're doing. This is your product. If you're not sure about your product, how do you expect others to buy your product? Even they are going to buy, they will buy by cheap price. So do your best. Even you must ask me that this 30 minutes is not enough. I've done a lot, and I would like to share with my counterparts. I need them to criticize my work. Maybe I'm doing wrong, and they give me a better idea. I can catch it, and I can use it in my research work. So please, those kind of stories, forget about it. I know maybe everyone, they want to be perfect when you're presenting your work in front of your counterparts, your friends, your classmates. No one is perfect. We are here to learn. Even I'm learning every day. You're learning. Like the hobby, the senior, he's also learning. Everybody, this planet, day by day, we are learning. I believe in Bill Gates, others, they're also learning day by day. So this is no shame for that we say we are learning. I'm not really perfect. Do your presentation, whatever it is. If you are not having something good to your presentation, this is big warning for you. Maybe for the next round, you need to work harder to prepare something interesting. At least you are proud of it. And definitely, the others also will enjoy whatever you've done. So, as I said, this is part of requirement. First of all, you present your thesis, and right, you do this after greeting and introducing yourself and your revelation. So, this is the common thing that you can do in your presentation. And say what you're doing this and where you are, what you have done so far during this past month. And all of us, maybe some of you also are lecturer in the university of colleges. Definitely at the end of the semester, you are going to test your students. You see what they've done, right? Let's say this is part of our exam. By research mode, we don't have that kind of systematic exam, but we have this kind of curriculum for you to see what you're doing, basically, and what kind of help or assistance you need, and we can provide for you. If you don't share these things with us, we are very blind about it, and who's going to be penalized? definitely student first, and we are not happy about what you're doing. We are here to serve you in the best level according to our capability. As I said, you're not perfect, and we also learning. So the second part, I can say the reason why we need to have colloquium is to build research culture among students, and the colloquium serves as a platform for the participants to interact with distinguished speakers from industry. And we are going to have very good people in this round of colloquium, very skillful, very professional. And today I was talking to one of them. He will join us on Wednesday. Wednesday is era of this colloquium, for your information. Whatever engagement you have in this day, please schedule for this day and be with us. Two different professional speakers coming from industry to give you time. I definitely sure that you will also enjoy and we will also enjoy. So I would like to end my talk by one sentence. One quote from Mr. Nicholas Balto. He is the American philosopher, and he says, an expert is one who knows more and more about less and less until he knows absolutely everything about nothing. I personally need time to think what he said. I believe you also need time to think what he said. But definitely, this is the story that all of us, you must understand and you must know. I would like to invite Mr. Harvey. I'm sorry, just this is a little bit change. Professor Ibrahim was supposed to give us welcoming speech, but for the unforeseen reason, he was not able to join us, and he will join us in the other days. And on behalf of him, I would like to. This is my honor to invite Mr. Dr. Harvey, he's the Dean of School of Business, to give us welcoming.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you, Dr. Reza. And as you have observed quite correctly, this is a meeting of friends. And we are connected as a family because of our research interest. Yeah. Just now while I was sitting here, I was checking on the internet. What is a colloquium? Because it's always good to learn and relearn and unlearn and relearn again. Yes, just like Brother Reza said, this is a lifelong learning process. So, well, colloquium comes from the Latin word loquium, to speak. So, colloquium means speak together. Yeah, and colloquium is good. Colloquium is better than a symposium. The original meaning of symposium is to drink together. The old philosophers, when they used to have symposium, it means bring on the wine and let us talk about love and life and philosophy and things like that. Yeah. So we are in a colloquium, which is much better than symposium. Yeah. But we do have drinks today, but the drinks are not the kind that Plato and Socrates used to have. They are more of sky juice, water, coffee, and tea. So please feel free to help yourself to refreshments at any time. Brother Reza will be the one who will be driving this process. And as he mentioned, Prof. Prem is not here today. He will be in by afternoon though. And he will definitely be very keen to talk to you, yes, on this platform. Because a colloquium is always an exciting thing for people involved in the research journey. It doesn't matter which side of the fence you are. Either you are working with someone to do that research work, yeah, like Brother Dr. Mahfouz here, and just now you saw, oh yes, here he is, Kamal, Tuan Haji Kamal. Now, Dr. Mahfouz, Tuan Haji Kamal, Dr. Reza are the people, go-to people for this function. If you don't see any of them, I'm a bit more visible. You can come to me too. Yes. And we are being supported very ably by Sarah over there. So if there's anything you want to know at any time, do talk to our team. Yes. And we will try to make your colloquium as most interesting as possible. I understand that because Prof. Frame is not here, you will have the opportunity to continue working with your supervisors in the morning session. So until we lunchtime, we are going to have like a free and easy session. But before I let you go, since you have given me this day, I would also like to share some things with you. Yes, and this is the thing about colloquium, coming together to speak. When you are doing your presentations, Dr. Reza shared with me earlier that some people had certain reservations about their level of preparation and things like that. For the colloquiums that we have attended, okay, just between you, me, and this mic, a lot of colloquiums tend to become a little boring after some time. Yeah, I think let's be honest. You cannot be hearing 28 people over 3 days and still be excited and gung-ho. The human mind is not designed to be like that. So you don't want your colloquium to become one of those. Yeah, especially if the colloquiums involve very, very high-profile people. I don't know if any one of you have heard Peter Drucker speaking. Peter Drucker is management guru, right? He passed on a short while ago. But Peter Drucker, the guy who has changed management thought. If you have attended any one of his speeches or seminars or presentations at a colloquium, I recently had the opportunity, well, not so recently, but just before he died, a few years before he died, I had the opportunity to go to Singapore and attend a colloquium where he was presenting on change management, because he's the guru of management. Whenever he speaks, everybody listens. I think people also listen very carefully to him because you have to pay a lot of money to listen to him. So that's also an incentive. Yeah. And the way he spoke, and he spoke for like 2 hours, yeah, in this tone. It is very important for us to consider change. Change is the modern constant. Change is coming to your doorstep. Whether you are ready to accept change or not, change is coming. And he spoke like that for 2 hours. And guess what? For 2 hours, there was pin drop silence because there were people frantically taking notes and things like that. I was one of them because, like I said, we paid a lot of money, so we want our money's worth. Unless you are Peter Drucker, you have to make your presentation more interesting. Yeah? And what we have learned from attending previous colloquiums is that those people who present with a lot of pictures, with a lot of diagrams, their presentations are normally the most participated. So you want to present to an audience from whom the whole idea of a colloquium is that, look, this is the research that I am doing, and I am presenting to you the ideas of what I'm doing. What do you think about that? At the end of the day, that's what the colloquium is all about. Yes, you come and present a paper, and you are going to say to your fellow researchers, this is what I'm doing. What is your view on this? And you get feedback, you solicit the feedback. Your feedback will be the most interactive if people are interested in what you are saying. Now, all of us have different areas of research. Now, to get people interested in your area of research, there are a few things you can do. And these are generally things about good presentation. In fact, Prof. Prem was supposed to talk about good presentation. So I will just share a little bit of that on his behalf too. Yes. First rule of good presentation is please use a lot of pictures. Use a lot of pictures. Use a lot of diagrams. Yeah. And as a general rule, because people are going to see so much of information over these next few days, as a general rule, try to have no more than 2 or 3 lines on each slide. When you do your Viva or other presentation, we often say to our research students, you don't have more than 6 lines. 6 is the standard thing that we say for good presentation. But I would say for a colloquium, you have to bring it down to half. Yes? And if possible, just put one idea on each slide. One idea. Yeah, so that's the first thing. If you are editing your slides now, as I see some of you are, maybe first thing you want to do is to put more pictures on the slide. And secondly, what you want to do is to make sure you don't have too many ideas on one slide. Yeah? Otherwise, we will have to put eye drops by the end of the day already. Yeah? That's the first thing. The other thing is, I'm sure that when you started on your research, you were motivated by something, you were fired up by something, some event, some phenomena, some occurrence, some gap, some opportunity. Yeah, I'm sure in our Friday's research methodology class, if I may just repeat Prof. Prem's words, research is based on either a gap, an opportunity, or observation of phenomena. So you have to ask yourself, what am I looking at? Am I looking at a gap? Am I looking at a possible opportunity? Or am I a scholarly observer of a phenomenon? What is it that I'm doing? Once you've got that very clear, a lot of what you say will be clear. A lot of what you do in your research will be very focused. Yeah. So once you've got that going, and you have got your slides going, you will also have a key event or a key idea. We often talk about information. We often talk about education because that's the world that we are in. Recently, we were having a discussion on big data analytics. Big data analytics, yeah. And this is one of my recent favorite stories on big data analytics. Thanks to technology, now we have software that can actually measure trends more accurately than the human mind can, because it does it without bias. If you and I try to measure trends, we will bring in our own bias into it, isn't it? But big data analytics has this benefit. It can measure trends without bias. Nowadays, we have computing power to be able to bring together so much data, that's why it's called big data, and actually connect the dots and create very interesting pictures. About 15 years ago, Target, which is one of the supermarkets in the US, if you know Target, you know their logo is like a dartboard. Yes, that was a supermarket chain which was way behind the others, like Thundercare and Walmart, and everybody was ahead of them in terms of profitability, in terms of market growth. So Target decided that, hey, we got to do something different. We got to do something dynamic. And now this is what our research should try to achieve. Okay, not every research is groundbreaking, but we should try to see if we identify the gap and we gave people an idea where they said, aha. Yeah, of course the best expression would be wow. But if you get at least an aha, that's great already. So Target decided that they would invest heavily in big data analytics, which they did. But how do you gather customer data? How do you gather customers' buying patterns? Well, they decided that they will give each customer who comes into their buyer card. You know, even here we have people who have buyer cards. If they go to Giant Cisco, if they go to Tesco, you may have a Tesco card and stuff like that. Yeah. The idea of this card, membership card, is that they will track what you are buying. They can track what you are buying. In this country, many of these cards are actually charged. We pay 10 ringgit for most of these membership cards. But you know what Target did? Target decided to give these cards free of charge. And not only that, they asked the clients, just give us your name and we'll key in your name, we'll create a number for you, and this is you. Yeah, Americans don't like to fill up forms. Yeah, I think nobody likes to fill up forms, but Americans more than others. So most of the time, the only data that these people had was the name of the person, the date when the card was created, the branch of Target where this card was created. But because they tracked the purchase patterns of different people, from the tracking of the purchase patterns, they could say that this person is either male or female. Statistically, they could say whether this person is a young person, middle-aged, or senior citizen. Yeah, they could actually look at many different buying characteristics of this person. And it so happened that in one of the branches of Target, in many countries, especially Western countries in Australia, they have this thing that supermarkets and department stores, they send out brochures every month. I don't know, is that the same in Vietnam? Do you all get brochures or not? Yeah, something. Yeah. In Malaysia, we don't have much of that. I don't know how it is in Sri Lanka. Yeah. But I find in European, American countries, I was staying in Britain for a while. Every month we get all these brochures, from the different stores, highlighting what are the latest promotions and things like that. That's the way they disseminate. That's one of their favorite marketing channels. Yeah. So there was this Target store which actually sent out these brochures to people in that locality. One of these brochures was sent to a 19-year-old girl, a teenager, and she was not home. Her father came home and he looked at this marketing brochure and he said, marketing brochure from Target. Now, because it's a marketing brochure, he just opened it because it's advertisements, isn't it? Not supposed to be anything private. So, but when he opened the brochures, he found that there were brochures on how to take care of yourself during pregnancy, what to do for yourself and for your baby. And they had things like this. So, of course, the father was upset. What is this store doing? Why are they sending us this information to a teenager? Shocking, isn't it? So, obviously, he picked up the phone and he called the manager. And he said, hey, what's the big idea? Why are you sending brochures to my teenage daughter on taking care of herself during pregnancy? Are you suggesting something to her? And of course, the manager was very apologetic. He said, sorry, sir, we have this big data analytics software. The software analyzes our customers and then chooses the brochures accordingly. And there could be a glitch. Please let me check this and I'll get back to you the next day. And because they were efficient, the next day, Target called the father. And again, they were very apologetic. And before the manager could continue his story, the father interrupted him and said, no, actually, I'm the one who should apologize because I now realize there were things happening in my home behind my back. And my daughter is, in fact, pregnant. Yes, that's the power of big data analytics. They can tell that a teenager is pregnant even before her father knows about it. Now, don't you think that that's an area for research then? What can big data analytics do for a company? What can big data analytics do for a manufacturing process? What can big data analytics do for the medical profession? What can big data analytics do for logistics? And then, the possibilities become endless. So there must be some fire. Uh, I like what Dr. Reza said this morning. He said, if you have to have the fire, you have to have the enthusiasm for your research. Look, if you're not excited about what you're researching, how can anyone else be? Isn't it? So you have to have that fire and passion in what you are researching. And I hope that in our presentations, you will actually share what was it that drove your passion. Because that is one of the things that we like to hear in a colloquium. We like to hear stories that inspired a good piece of research. We want to hear what are the challenges that you are having, if you indeed have challenges. Yeah? You may be looking at an area that is entirely new. Now, if you're looking at areas entirely new, it might be difficult for you to gather your data in the traditional way. So maybe you want to come here to this colloquium and say to people, you know what, I'm stuck. I don't know whom to ask. So maybe somebody in the audience will then tell you, well, when there is not enough information known about something, you just look at people who are already professionals in that area of work, and you can carry out what we call a Delphi interview, or a Delphi if you are American. Yeah. Many years ago, the American Army, they wanted to know how world politics will turn out. They wanted to know how world economies will change, because economics and politics are very closely related. So they wanted to do some forecasts. They wanted to do some projections, but they couldn't go out in the market and analyze the data because the market data was not there, or it was rather uncertain. Nowadays more and more people publish forecasts for 2017, 2018, forecast to 2020. I invite you to download one of these forecasts, and then when you look back at it after 1 year, you can calculate the percentage of how wrong that is, how wrong the experts get it to be. So the US Army decided that instead of looking at market data, because there is nothing to say that the market data that's available today will actually hold true again in the future. So therefore, let us get a few experts. And now this is what they did. They called one expert and they asked them some open-ended questions. Then they called another expert and asked that person some open-ended questions. Then they called a third expert and asked that person open-ended questions. And then they took the responses of each one of these experts and then sent it back to them. Like A's response to B, A's response to C, B's response to A, like that. And said, you know what? The other experts think like that. What do you think about what he thinks? And from that point, they were able to actually develop a framework of those areas where the experts agree and those areas where they disagree, and give them a sense of direction. Maybe your research requires like that, something like that. Yeah, you never know. Some of you may actually have to base your research half on literature review and half on market data. But please be careful about market data. I'm going to finish talking already. I don't want to bore you too much. Yeah. If you're using market data, just think about this. I believe it was 2012 when Japan had the tsunami, the earthquake. Yes. 2012, 2011 or 2012? 11, yeah. Okay, in 2011, Japan had the tsunami. March 2011, right? What happened in February 2011? Another world-changing event. In February 2011, we had an Arab Spring. We had the Arab Spring. Yeah, where a lot of the people in Middle East came out to the streets to ask for their rights. Now imagine if a company had used market data in December 2010. Imagine if we were having a multinational company and we were doing business with people in the Middle East and we were doing business with people in Japan, as many companies in Asia do, isn't it? Yeah. If we were doing business with people in Middle East and Japan, and in December 2010, we were looking at market data, market forecast, and things like that. Based on that, we prepared a budget. Your budget would have become wrong by February. And it would have become even more wrong by March that year. Yeah? So you must always, when you use market data, also talk about the limitations of the accuracy of such market data. So that would be also a very important thing. Whenever you present a point, you cannot present a point to say, okay guys, this is what I found, and now this is the absolute truth. Yeah. So I hope that you will keep these few pointers in mind when you do your presentations throughout these coming days. Because keep it exciting, keep it simple, keep it clear. You know, we were actually invited to do some presentations at the Colloquium, and I was supposed to be the industry guy. And the people who were organizing that presentation, they told me, you know what, Dr. Harvey, we're going to give you half an hour for a presentation, and after which we will have the Q&A session. But the first 20 minutes, make sure that even an undergraduate student should be able to understand what you are saying. Now that's a very, very good thing to remember, because you might be doing research in an area in which you are familiar with, but it's quite likely that many people in the audience are not. Yeah? So keep it simple, especially in the first half of your presentation. Then if you need to get technical in the second half. That way we can all catch up with you. Yeah? So with those few, I would say, suggestions for your presentations, I would like to welcome you all on behalf of Prof. Brain and Malaysia University of Science and Technology to this colloquium. Have a great one. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Harvey. We really enjoyed those things that you shared with us. Today afternoon also we are going to have an academic talk, which is conducted by Dr. Amir Fatin. He has 14 patents registered in the US, Europe, and Japan, and also 37 papers, including ISI and international journals and conferences, and 15 medals, gold, silver, and he is now with us at the end of the session. Dr. Amir, would you please stand up? Yeah. He is one of the distinguished faculty members we have, and I hope all of you will enjoy from his experience of doing these kind of achievements. I believe all of you also can have these achievements in your research, and definitely will enjoy. Please don't forget to attend. So now I officially close today's session, but you must go and see your supervisors, and the next agenda will be your presentation. Those that are having presentation today, you have more time to prepare yourself. If any questions you have, we are here to help you regarding your presentation, your slides, or any stresses you may have. And don't be shy, we are here to assist you. Thank you so much, and we are looking forward to see you at 1 p.m. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Nhưng mà cái thời tiết
Không vô được các bạn này, mà vô được các bạn này phải vô được, mà vô bạn nói thấy có bạn bạn
How is your process going on? Research. Never mind. She can translate it. English awesome. I hope after this foray, you will have an idea of what you want. It's very Are you okay? Okay. Now, let's see.
We are not going to go down that route, but we are going to make a class. Thank you. You are not going down that road. We are not going to use the as a type of people who respond and is your people is able to recipes or providing these extra public spaces that is very solid. You can very one or one mistake for example. See that we use it sometimes. You know, they keep one thing at okay, okay. No, no, for you, These are factors that determine the rate of usage. So if you think rate of usage is not these are the issues that is part of the event that drive why not this so all these will not be developed sticky price is something that one size so you can definitely question justify the use of provinces. You will be something. I suggest you go something. You just go to the specific and what you will go to once you are clear that just this question. This is how I value for this action. Because all the best.
Thank you.
How are you doing? Okay. Hi, human secret. Okay. You brought anything to discuss today? Anything? Because I am just please try to attend as much as you can because this is where you get ideas from each other. This is representing very good slides.
Yes.
May I just discuss daily review?
Globally, I think millions out of 70 mobile banking users.
Yes.
These are the features up to now. These are the
Ask use by external engage.
identified latest 2015 we have identified what are the features we can facilities using mobile banking. Use means banking facilities, money management, income location of
This really good. In fact, this is a good area because when we watch this India, they really advertise function how you can pay this thing.
payment.
Yeah, payment gateway.
Yes.
Mobile devices are most of the According to the CLA report, they have mentioned most of mobile handset payment devices already established in Europe and the United States. Many students do their banking remote, but technology is increasing.
Yeah.
Similarly, the security risks could also increase. Security is the speed is barrier to mobile devices. Mobile devices create a security home computers, plus the mobile devices is very high. Base use of communication, more focus on user convenience for the security.
That's true.
Then user friendly, they are developing the user friendly application.
Yeah.
They are not thinking about security.
And maybe even the perception. Like I can use my savings account, I can transfer funds. But I don't do this. I do on this because I somehow feel this is more secure.
More secure than that. Unsafe, yes, very good thing. Unsafe data storage as mobile laptop and save sensitive data.
Yeah. True.
Unsafe data transmission or wireless connection often unsecured public files.
Yes, that's even worse.
Mm.
Yeah. True.
So then banks, Sri Lankan banks are now adopting the digital bank. The mobile bank is a component of the digital bank. And as example statistics from Central Bank of Sri Lanka. The mobile banking in 2015 fourth quarter, total transaction was 2,000. By the period. Even the loading experience for the customer was the area of the bank. Generally secure. People who are thinking it is secure. Customers have doubt on cyber issues looking to steal personal financial information. Customers are still taking some security issues on their mobile net as discussed in the better. Hence, people have security very
So what is your DB now? After all this, what will be your DB? Your dependent variable. Develop a prototype, then it's secure.
secure questions.
Yeah. Have you developed DB already? Let me see DB first, then I see this. Independent variable. Yeah, chapter 3. Not yet. Because I was sharing with you the other day, the shortcut we don't save the computer. The shortcut is determine your DB first. Because that's your research purpose. Once you have the DB sorted out, now I'm just having a chat with our research students here in the conference hall. Ken, you know Kevin, Tato Bentley's son, is coming in about 5 minutes' time. We want to have a lunch meeting with you for the online MBA. If you can join us, it would be very good because I appreciate your interview. It's ideally 12 noon. So when he comes here, I will give you a bus. Can. For you, I will be free anytime. Okay. Yeah, sure. Yeah. That's the most enjoyable, most most enjoyable job? Okay, great. Sounds great. Yeah, I'll do that, or I'll just come to you. Yeah. Uh, yes, so he's explained already. Very good. You see, once I know this is my research purpose, this is my DV. My DV is strengthening the security of mobile phones. Yeah, uh, that's my development. So, what is my research all about? My research about is all about strengthening uh, the security of my mobile. What are the IVs? What are the things that will have an impact on the security? So maybe you would say type of number of application, okay, whatever that one you know better. That's your internet protocols, all those words which we non-IT people don't understand. Yes. Once you've got that, you see your research problem is actually defining your DB. That's your research problem. So once you have thought about your DB and articulated it, put it in a few short words, the explanation of that DB is a problem. Why you are doing this research is above it your introduction. So you get your introduction, you get your problem statement, then RO and RP are there. Shortcut. You presenting to this later? First presentation. Oh, it's starting with presentation. Yes, sir. We are second one. Oh, good. We are second. It's okay. We start with our Sri Lankan friends. And then we will take a break for good Dilma tea. The Sri Lankan whiskey.
I didn't know you were just planting like you told me. Big way back.
Yes.
It's just that one close for that.
Oh, okay, good. So this is one of the applications of data.
Chị lấy máy để chị có biết được không? Chị có con dao.
Okay, God bless. Very, now,
No, it's okay. you look at these things. Then, then we just
Yeah. Second block. Kalau
out. Mobile banking application. Yeah. You observe, you wait, you find it. According to your partner, your according what is then, yeah, your according he has selected it is due for security purposes. Then which one you have written this administration? Yeah, no. Then you have written that is your old ones, right? Yeah, that should be your old one, right? can change these things because then when we give a notice to them how to write the value in our format. So first we have to select the position. So we have to read abstract finally member. I need. This findings it is related to us. These things related to the topic independent, no independent variable. No, this is based on the study. Study in the topic. Small introduction, but anyway, this is the topic.